Hey. Do you guys want to see how I made these with my Serger, with my Janome 3434D? Stay tuned. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a quick video on how I made these bell-bottom pants. I made these using my Serger. So that's the video. That's how I'm going to show you how I did it. You can use a sewing machine if you have one, but I just chose to use a Serger. So the first thing you're going to need is fabric, of course. And I purchased this African print fabric from Joanns fabric. It was in their Black History Month collection. You'll need a pattern. So this is CKC Persia's bell bottom pattern. They have this pattern from newborn up until size 14 or 16, I think, but I will leave the link to where you can purchase this pattern in the description below. You'll need scissors, rotary cutter, pins, and your serger or sewing machine. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our fabric. So I'm going to start with these two scrap pieces I have here first. So this fabric is directional, so of course you want to make sure you lay your fabric out the right way. So because this is going down, I don't want my map of Africa going up. So the first two pieces I'm going to cut is the front and back legs. So the pattern tells you to make sure you cut this in the direction of the stretch, which will be that way. So I'm going to cut two of these. So I have my fabric, I have two pieces right there. So I'm going to cut two of those. And I'm actually in a hotel for school. I'm in the military. So I didn't bring my pattern weight. So I'm just going to pin this pattern to this really quick so it doesn't move. Alright, so we have that. That's the front. This is the back. And just like the front, you're going to cut it in the direction of the stretch. And you're going to cut two each. So I'm going to pin that like that. Alright, and then I'm just going to take my rotary cutter and I'm going to cut all the way around. Make sure you're careful with when you're using the rotary cutter. I almost cut my finger off one time. So just cut all the way around. Alright, I have a piece right here that didn't cut all the way through, so I'm just going to use my scissors for that. Use my scissors right here. And use my scissors right there for the pieces that didn't cut all the way through. So now I have my two front pieces. So now I'm going to cut my two back pieces. Do it the same way. Just cut around the pattern. And again, make sure you're being very careful with these rotary cutters because these things are sharp. One thing I noticed about this one, sometimes it don't want to cut all the way through the fabric, but this is the same blade that I almost cut myself with. Or I almost cut my finger off with, shall I say. Alright. So, just go in with the scissors for the little pieces that didn't get cut with the rotary cutter. Alright, so we have the two front pieces and the two back pieces. Alright, so then we're going to do the waistband. So again, this fabric is directional. So you want to make sure you lay out your pattern of your waistband. So I'm gonna lay it out like this. So with the waistband, depending on what size you get, the first size I did was a 2T. The waistband was long, but I think they have updated their pattern since, so I didn't have to like tape two of them together. So this is the waistband, and you're gonna cut one in the direction, on the fold. So my fabric is folded right here. So I'm gonna lay my pattern there. Get the wrinkles out. I'm going to lay my pattern there, and I'm gonna put some pins in it to hold it in place. All right, and then I'm just going to cut around the pattern like I did with the pants leg, very carefully. And again, I'm gonna go in with my scissors for the little pieces that didn't get cut with the rotary cutter. All right, so, and there we have our waistband. So the next part we're gonna cut are the bells for the bottom part. And this is this pattern. This is this piece of the pattern. So again, this fabric is directional. So for the bell, you're gonna cut 2 of these on the fold. So let me move these pieces out of the way. I'm going to fold my fabric over. So one thing about this fabric, when you fold it over and you cut it, like if I fold it this way, the maps are the right way, but this way they're going to be upside down. So with this, either way, one side is going to be upside down. But I noticed whenever I made my other one, like they're like sideways. So they're not really like upside down once you sew them. They're kind of sideways. All right, so we're going to fold that. All right, I'm gonna put a few pins in here. Probably put a clip right here at the top. Put some clips right there. Make that a little easier. And then again, I'm going to take my rotary cutter and I'm going to cut. All right, and then we're going to cut this part at the top. I'm going to take my scissors, cut that, cut there, there, there. All right, so I have 2 of these, 2 of the bells, 1, 2. All right, so now let's assemble our pieces. So the first pieces that I'm going to do, are the front and back pieces. All right, so these two pieces, these are the backs. So I'm going to put them right sides together, like so. Match up the corners, right sides together. And I'm going to pin them. Just pin them right there. I don't know why I'm just like real jittery today. I'm like shaking really bad. I can't even put these together. I'm not sure what's going on with me today. So we got it pinned right there because we're only going to serge from here to the crotch area. Right? So then we're going to do the same for the front. We're going to put right sides together. I'm very, very jittery today. So for these two, like I said, we're going to do this just like we're going to do the back. We're just going to serge or sew from the top to the crotch area. The waistband, clearly I didn't cut that straight. That looks crooked. Okay, whatever. So this is the waistband. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold it where right sides are together. Just like this. Right? And then we're going to fold it over again like this. And then you're going to serge or sew right along here. Okay? Yep, you're just going to serge or sew right along here. So we're going to go over to the serger and we're going to do that, and then we'll be right back over here to the cutting mat. Alright, so this is my serger. I have the Janome 3434D. Well, I don't even know what I just did with my pieces. I lost them clearly. Okay, so I'm back. So this is my serger. It's the Janome 3434D. I actually purchased this from a lady in my neighborhood about a few years ago. And last year was probably like the first time I ever used it. But anyway, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to serge this part first. And again, this is the waistband. And I'm just going to serge right here. So I'm going to take that clip out. Stick it under there just a little bit. All right. So then I'm going to take one of my pieces. I'm not sure. Just by looking at it, I'm not sure if this is the front or the back. But either way, we're going to do the same thing. Just serge it only to the crotch area. And we're going to do our last side of the leg. Make sure it's lined up. All right. All right, so now we're going to go back over to the cutting mat and I'll show you guys what to do next. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is serge the front and back pieces together. And again, you can either serge it or sew it, whichever you prefer. So we're going to put right sides together. Right sides together. Now, what you're going to notice about the front and the back is going to be higher than the front, so that way you'll know the front from the back. Because you gotta, the back gotta be a little bit higher to compensate for, you know, most little kids wear diapers, so, you know, to compensate for the diaper. So we're basically gonna put these two together, sew these two together, sew them together, serge them together. So I'm just gonna put a few pins in here. So we're going to do both side seams and the crotch area. All right, I'm just pinning it. I see some videos where people are sewing and they don't use no pins or anything. I don't know how, but I need pins and lots of them. All right, so make sure your middle seams, your crotch seams are lined up. And then I'm just going to put a few more pins in here, like this. All right, and back to the serger we go. All right, so again, this time we're doing both side seams and the crotch area. That's one side seam done. And if you've never used a serger, just know these things are fast. They are so fast. I'm barely touching the pedal. All right, so we got both side seams. Now we're going to do the crotch. So we have that done. So now we're going to go back over to the cutting mat and move on to the next step. All right, so this is what it looks like now. Okay, that's the front, that's the back. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our waistband, right? So we are going to take our scissors and we're going to cut a slit right there and right there. Very small slits, nothing big, right? Then we're going to turn this waistband inside out like this. I forgot to cut it somewhere, but don't worry, I can cut it right now. So the two little slits that we just made, that area we just cut, we're going to line that up with the back, with the seam that's in it already. We're going to line it up, right? And then I'm going to cut a little snip on this side. And this side. So pretty much this just helps you to make sure that it's even. So that way you'll have somewhere to line it up. So you have a seam to line up with this, and you have slits that you cut to line up with the front and the two sides. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stick this inside our pants. This seam is going to the back. So we're going to stick it inside like so, and then we're just going to line it up. So we're going to line that seam up with the back seam. I hope that's making sense. You're going to line it up with the back, and we're going to put a pin in it. So we'll put a pin. I don't know, that pin ain't sharp. Line it up, put a pin in it. So then we're going to take the two slits right here, opposite of that seam, and we're going to line it up with the front seam. So hope you guys can see. This is where we made the little cut, and this is the seam that we're lining it up with. All right? So you just line it up, and you put a pin in it, and then you're going to do the same thing on both sides. So you have a slit on that side as well. You're going to line that up with the side seam, and you're going to pin it, and you have one on this side that you're going to do the same thing for. Line it up and pin it. Right? So now we're going to go over to the serger, and we are going to, you know what? No. I almost messed up. I messed up. So the waistband is going to go on the outside, not on the inside. I'm sorry. It's going to go on the outside. So again, you're going to line your seams up. You're going to line that back seam up with that seam, and then you're going to pin it. The little slits that you made opposite of the back seam, you're going to line it up with your front seam. And then you're going to pin that. I'm moving too fast now. I done got discouraged because I messed up. So now it's like I'm moving too fast. I'm really shaking and I'm sweating. I don't know why I'm sweating. Then you're going to line up your side seams with the other slits that you put in, that you made. So you're going to line those up. I don't know, I like really just started sweating. I hope I'm not getting sick. Alright, and then you're going to do the same thing for this side seam. All right. So now we're going to go over to the serger, and we're just going to serge all the way around. All right. So now we're just going to serge all the way around the waistband. Got to make sure it's lined up. Make sure all my fabric is even. All right. All right, so we have that part done. So we're gonna go back over to the cutting board and finish it up. All right, so this is what we have now. So this is what it looks like so far. You got your pants. This is the front. This is the back. I don't know why it's puckered up. Have to iron it. So now we're gonna add the bells to the bottom. So with the bells, you're gonna pretty much cut a slit, 2 slits in it, just like we did for the waistband, just so we can line it up with our seams. So I'm folding it like this, then I'm gonna fold it again like so, and then I'm gonna cut here and here. So I'm gonna do a little slit there and one there. And then I'm just gonna stick it in my hand, stick my hand in like this, and just pull the pant leg through. And then I'm going to, the slit we made, I'm going to match them up to the seams. So I'm gonna match one to this seam right here. And then I'm going to match this one to this seam. Right, so now it looks like this. So just me being me, I'm gonna add like 2 more pins because again, I need pins. I need a lot of pins. So I'm gonna add a pin right here. And I'm gonna add another one on this side. Okay, so this is how we're looking now. So I'm gonna take this bell and I'm going to do the same thing. Just fold it like this. Well, so it's folded like this. I'm going to take it and fold it again. And then I'm just going to cut 2 little slits. One right here, one right here. And then again, I'm going to stick my hand inside the bell. Then I'm going to grab my pants leg, pull it through like that, And I'm just going to match the little cuts I just made with the side seams. All right, so then again, I'm going to put a pin on this side. I'm going to stretch it out a little bit, make sure, you know, try to make it even as possible. Stick a pin in there. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. All right, so now we're going to go to the serger and finish it up. All right, so this is our last step. So let's get started. And you know, like one thing I noticed, when you're using a serger, you don't even have to lift your presser foot. I think I just do it out of habit, but you don't really have to lift your presser foot. Like once you start, like it's just gonna go in there by itself. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you use a serger, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so all right. All right, there's one complete. Oh, just stuck myself with a pin. So now we're gonna do the other one and we'll be done. And I just pulled that pin out. Okay, well, I guess I gotta come out anyway, huh? I don't want that one to come out. Let me put that one back in. So the smaller the pant size, the harder these bells are to put on because they're smaller and it's hard to like really position the bell part right under there. For me it is anyway. And that's that. All right, meet you back over at the cutting mat so you can see the finished results. All right, so this is what it looked like. It's finished. So this is what it looks like. Then of course I'll iron it to make it, you know, a little bit smoother. But that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, you all have a great day. Toodles.